You are listening to Face the Tribune with Chris Garcia and Rolando Larraz. Our guest today is Mr. Ed Euling. We are discussing the economy and the future of the United States and how we can make this country great again. So now we was talking about the people that go out of the country to work. In my opinion, and I'm not an expert on that, okay? In my opinion, they are abusing both ways. They abuse the people over here by taking the jobs somewhere else, and they abuse the people over there by paying $1 an hour instead of them paying $8 an hour.
Oh my God! What?
Business-wise, it's perfect. Business-wise, it's perfect.
I worked in this industry. I worked in that industry for 5 years. I was a trader at the Chicago Board of Trade. None of those guys are losing money. None of the owners of those corporations are losing money. And just to prove it, even when they file for bankruptcy and even when they get a government bailout, they take $200 and $300 million parachute retirements to leave the company on their own because they're facing revolts from the shareholders. And they take these parachute retirements, $300, $400, $500 million, and walk away. And that's just their retirement. That's not the shares that they own to the company. They're not losing money. They're just greedy. That's it. It's not that they're losing money. Trust me. They just see another dollar. They see cheaper wages in another.
Can you name me one person who's not greedy?
Donald Trump is not greedy because he's making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. There's no reason for him to run for president. He could be extremely rich and live the rest of his life very comfortably.
But let me ask you,
becoming president of the United States.
But let me ask you something.
Well, he's the only person in the world ever that I knew of that wasn't greedy. That didn't think he should try to make as much as he could.
But how much is enough?
Don't the employees?
But let me ask you, why do you think people go in business for themselves? Because they want to make money. Because they want.
And they do it. That's what's happening.
That's it.
And he doesn't want that. He wants to control them. He wants to pass a law saying you can't make such profits because if you make those profits, you're greedy.
But he's from
Cuba. If you move your business overseas.
He's from Cuba. They don't have that kind of liberty in Cuba. In Cuba, everything belongs to the government. But we're
talking about here.
We're talking about here.
Okay.
The same thing that happened over here. Look at those salaries that those elected officials and those government employees making.
That's right. They're greedy.
They are greedy.
Everyone is greedy.
Nobody else.
Everyone is greedy.
Look at how difficult they make it for people to open a business. In the old days, when the mob was here.
Okay, I totally agree. I'm not arguing with about that point.
Now you have to pay $600 to the state.
We know that.
I actually believe most people aren't greedy.
But why can't I finish what I'm saying? Why can't I finish it?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because
we're on the subject of do people have the right to be greedy or not?
I think so.
But I don't think most people are greedy.
I think that.
You don't think these people that are going to work on the stadium that are with the unions and get $80 an hour, $90 an hour, $100 an hour?
Why do you think they're pushing? Why do you think they're pushing for the stadium? They're pushing for the stadium.
This is exactly why Donald Trump won, because people are out of touch. If you leave out of these big cities, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, and you drive to Reno, or you drive to Gardnerville, or you drive to Sparks, and you go to where most of America lives, which is not in the inner cities, and you go to these small towns and these mom and pop stores, these people, a lot of times, to pay their bills and pay their employees, take losses. They pay out of their own pocket.
How can they do that? That's impossible. Impossible. What you're describing is impossible.
They do it. A lot of people.
It's impossible. No business can exist if it doesn't make a profit.
You want to know why they
really? What about Las Vegas Tribune? What about Las Vegas Tribune?
Okay.
People want to see other people make it too. It's not just about them.
I'm not making any money over here.
That's not.
I'm not making any money over here.
Greedy. A few people are greedy. Most people aren't greedy. And
Would you rather make money?
Yes, of course.
But I'm not. I don't want to see everybody around me down because I'm making money. How does that benefit me? What kind of world do I live in? What kind of neighborhood do I live in?
Well,
everybody's doing bad.
Have you bothered to just go down the street and see all the people?
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me tell you.
I used to feed homeless people here.
Well, that's fine because you got the money. You got the resource.
I didn't have the money.
So how do you feel?
I took out of my own pocket.
Well, that's your money.
How did I do that? Simple. You go to the store, and instead of you going gambling
how did you get the money
shopping,
in your pocket? How did you get the money?
I worked.
Okay, and
I wasn't making a lot of money.
You got paid.
I had a decent job and a decent wage.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay,
those are the type of jobs that need to come back here.
So what if you had that job? What if they said, "Oh, we're cutting your salary by half"? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I would vote for Donald Trump. I would vote for Donald Trump.
He only fed half of the
60 million
people.
Americans did.
He only fed half of the people.
He only fed half the people.
Right.
Yeah,
they cut the salary in half. You know, I believe then.
Everybody got it wrong. The pundits got it wrong. The people on TV got it wrong. People are sitting at home and they're hurting, and their neighbors are hurting, and they want somebody fighting for them. That's why he won.
So what kind?
That's why he won.
What program? What is he? So what's he going to do? You know what he said he's going to do? He said he's going to put a 30% tariff on the goods coming into the country.
Absolutely.
That's right.
You know what a 30%?
Absolutely.
Do you know what a 30% tariff means?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you know what it means?
Yeah.
What? It means that we pay 30% more for our products.
No. They're going to pay 30% more to bring it back to the country.
They can't do that.
Yes, they do.
How?
They can charge taxes.
Okay.
You can call them whatever you want to call.
A tariff is a tax.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you bring an automobile from Japan. And the automobile is $20,000.
Yeah.
But Trump puts a 30% tax on it.
Yeah.
Now the automobile is $26,000. Okay. Yeah. Who pays that extra $6,000? The person who buys the automobile in the United States.
The person who wants to buy it. When I could afford it, I buy a Cadillac.
Oh.
When I cannot afford it, I buy a Ford.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. So you want people driving
a Ford? Yes.
You want them driving a crummy Ford.
I don't care if it's coming. But you drive what you can.
So that means that you don't think for a minute that Ford isn't going to raise their price to $26,000 also? You don't think that's going to happen?
If they are outside the country, yeah.
No, here in this country. You don't think that if you raise the price of all foreign goods, that the local producers aren't going to raise their prices to the same price?
Why would they do that?
To make more money. They're greedy. Everyone is greedy. They have the job of creating profits. Free trade reduces the price of things. It creates wealth. It's a huge wealth creator. That's why China is so smart.
Is the world
they
bankrupt?
permit goods to
Why
come
is the
in.
world bankrupt?
The world isn't bankrupt. The United States is bankrupt.
No, it's... Oh, my God, dude. Venezuela, bankrupt. Brazil,
okay. Oh, that's
bankrupt.
a communist country.
I can go on and on and on. Do you know how much money they've had to get from the world banks, these countries? How many billions of dollars they've had to borrow? Free trade does not work. It doesn't work. It does not work.
That's not free trade. We're not talking about free trade.
Russia's bankrupt. The United States is bankrupt. $20 trillion in debt with all this free trade.
What do you want?
The United States is bankrupt, yes. But Russia
That's what I did for a living. It does not work, man.
You just watch what happens.
It doesn't work.
Just watch what happens. Russia is going to boom with Trump being there.
So you are telling me now?
Because as soon as they can stop spending all this money preventing an attack from the Americans, As soon as all these countries can stop spending so much money on their military to protect themselves against the terrorist Americans, they can spend money on buying things. And those countries are going to prosper. What happens in China? 2 million people a month move from the lower class to the middle class. 2 million people a month. Everyone is going up. In the United States, everyone is going down. Yeah. And a Chinese person, because there's no taxes in China, a Chinese person gets to keep all his money and reinvest it in his business and create more jobs. And the wages have gone up, tripled in the last 10 years. In the United States, wages for workers have not gone up since 1971. The average worker today makes less than the average worker in 1971, if you take out inflation. In China, the people are putting together millions and millions and millions of dollars.
China is in debt, serious debt. They're in worse debt than the United States.
Okay, who did China borrow the money from? Did the United States loan them money?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. The United States doesn't have a penny to loan
the United States did loan them money.
They did not.
No, it's the other way around.
No.
China loans money.
It's the other way around.
The reason China. Did you see what happened last year to China?
We're in debt to what to China.
Yeah, last year.
We're not. The reason China's economy last year and their stock market crashed is because they're in debt to the United States.
Oh, that is so much.
Can I explain why?
Yeah. So
because during the housing market, the people that were buying up the United States housing market in the 2000s, I worked in that industry. I was a trader. Were the Chinese. They were buying what's called bundles, and what they were doing is they were buying up American real estate. During our housing bubble, our housing boom, when the economy burst, when the United States, the housing market burst, the people that was actually holding the loans on the houses were the Chinese. It wasn't the American banks. It was the Chinese banks.
Okay,
so what we did at that time, but this is what you have to understand. So the Chinese, they compare their money, the yen, is based on the dollar.
It isn't yen, it's yuan.
It's based on
yen is
Japanese.
Right,
Japanese. It's based on the dollar bill, right? So what they're trying to done over the
everything is based on the dollar bill.
So what they tried to do over the last 4 or 5 years is get smart, and the United States has kept artificially the price of gold and silver down because the Chinese are in such debt that they've tried to buy up like $15 billion worth of gold.
How can they do that if they're in debt? Please tell me.
So does every country. They buy up gold, but it doesn't make any difference because what the United States does is they keep the price of gold artificially down and silver. So actually, it's not much of an asset, but they still hold those loans. They still are tied.
Who holds that?
The Chinese banks hold the loans on American real estate. That never got resolved. It didn't go away.
Okay.
They're still owed billions of dollars.
You're saying the Chinese are backing up Americans. They've loaned money to Americans.
Absolutely. That's what
okay.
And
but you're supposed to prove that the United States, that China owes money to the United States. It doesn't owe the United States a penny.
Absolutely they do.
No, how?
Absolutely they do.
How?
Because they own the mortgages of those houses. But they bought them.
If you own a mortgage,
they bought them.
If you own a mortgage,
right.
You don't owe people money.
Yeah,
people
you still
owe you money.
No.
You have it turned around backwards.
No, they still have to pay that money back.
They
bought back. They took losses. When you take losses, you owe money.
Who took losses?
They're upside down in the mortgages. The people are still in the houses.
Who took losses?
The Chinese.
Okay, so a Chinese person buys a house, and then you're saying that
the American banks don't hold the leases on those homes.
What?
They don't own those homes. The American banks, the Chinese banks do.
Okay,
the American banks do.
Okay. If a Chinese bank holds a mortgage on an American home, the Americans owe the Chinese money. No. The Chinese do not owe the Americans a penny. What are you talking about?
If they're upside down in all of those mortgages, then they all
upside down. A bank can't be upside down. How does a bank get upside down?
Because they hold bad mortgages and bad loans. Why do you think all these banks have to be bailed out? Why do you think they have to be bailed out? Their market almost crashed last year. I'm telling you, because they hold so many bad loans.
You're conflating everything. The stock market is one thing, and the stock market
is representative of what's going on in the economy.
Absolutely not. That's ridiculous.
Really? So during the Great Depression, when the stock market crashed and people were starving to death, that didn't show what was going on in the economy? It didn't?
You take one example.
So when the stock market went up under Clinton, the economy wasn't doing good in the 90s? You're not making any sense.
Well,
it absolutely is reflective. It's absolutely reflective of what's going on in the economy.
It is not.
They're the 30 biggest companies.
It is not. The crash of the market in China is due to their lousy accounting procedures, and no one has faith in the market.
They bought bad loans. Absolutely, they did. They're holding a lot. This is not talked about. Their economy is on the brink of financial disaster.
Every economy is on the brink of financial disaster.
Why? If they're doing so good.
In the case of China, China has problems because they keep their people employed. They'd rather have them building houses, and there are tens of millions of houses that haven't been sold yet, but they're being built because they'd rather have people building houses than do what the United States does, put them on welfare, pay them for doing nothing.
They have a huge housing bubble too, which is going to burst really soon.
Tell me how
a huge housing bubble.
Tell me how a housing bubble can burst in China.
Because
they
overbuilt. They built too quickly in a lot of their major cities.
Yeah, but how does the bubble burst?
You know they have vacant cities there.
How does the bubble burst?
You know they have vacant cities there.
I just told you. I agree. Right. There are millions of houses that haven't been sold. Right. I agree. Now, how is that going to go bust?
Because
they've been paid for.
They factor that in. They also spend money. Countries spend money. They factor that into their GDP, that those homes are going to be filled up and they're going to get that money back. When those whole houses sit empty.
You only factor in the GDP.
Borrowed. That's money they borrowed and spent. That isn't coming in. That money is not coming in.
Believe me, when the Chinese developer builds a house, he's building it for peanuts. He's selling it for a very high price.
Right.
Okay, so there's a lot more flexibility with things there. Second, when a Chinese person buys that house, they have to put down 50% or 30%, not 3% like here in the United States. So how is it? Why didn't they have a housing bubble in 2008?
The Chinese?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why didn't the Chinese have a housing
Yeah,
bubble?
right. We had a huge housing bubble, and people are still Americans.
Now they do have a housing bubble. Now they do.
They do not.
Yes,
they do not.
Yes, they do. They do have a housing bubble now.
The houses are owned by the people, not by the banks in China. So if the people own the house, they can't have a bubble. No bubble is going to burst.
They built too fast. They overbuilt. They have total cities and subdivisions that are vacant.
What?
That's money that was spent.
Okay.
And income they expected to
in the United States,
and it's not.
What?
That was income they were expecting to come in to those vacant cities.
So a company expects the income instead of having.
That's what happened here. They expected those people.
It's not the
they
same
got the subprime loans to be able to pay for the mortgages, and they couldn't.
But in China, it's different. It's a different problem. Chinese people pay 30%, 50%, 100% of the price of their house. They don't get loans like we do here. Their houses aren't owned by the banks. Our houses are all owned by banks.
Chinese banks.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
They are not.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
yeah, they are.
Well, much less than here. Much less than here.
Yeah, they are.
And they're not going to have
a lot of property in the United States is held by Japanese and Chinese banks.
That's right. We owe them. They do not owe us. If you keep saying that.
It doesn't make any difference if I don't collect my money. I don't have it, which is going to hurt my economy.
No,
when I've already loaned it. If I don't get it back
that's just tough
with
luck
a profit,
that's tough luck for the bank. Okay,
their banks.
Their banks, yeah, it's tough luck.
They're holding bad loans. That affects their banks.
But that doesn't
affects their economy.
That doesn't mean they owe us money. You keep saying they owe us money. They don't owe us a penny. We owe them.
Can you hear that over there? Can you hear also?
You keep saying that. When a Chinese bank holds a mortgage here in the United States, which is very rare, the Chinese bank is owed money. It does not owe money.
So where are they going to get that money from to make up that money?
It doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about that.
They get it from us.
They have a loss.
They get loans from us.
How?
They get loans from us.
They do not.
Yes, they do.
You're lying.
Yes,
that's Indian. That's Indian. That's not Chinese.
Yes,
what?
They do.
How?
Yes, they do.
Believe me, the United States is not giving one penny to China.
Yes, they are.
They are not.
Yes, they are.
They are not.
Yes, they are.
Well,
absolutely.
you look on the internet and look how much money.
Absolutely, they are.
We owe them $1.2 trillion.
No, we don't. No, they don't.
Oh, really?
I was told that we are in debt to China.
I know that's what we're told. It's not the truth. That's what these people want to make you believe. We are not there. That country is going bankrupt. You mark my word. And when it happens in the next year or so,
how is it going to go
economy,
bankrupt?
If they're the second largest economy in the world, you watch what
it's
happens.
The largest now.
No, it's not. The
it
largest
sure is.
Economy. No,
it
is.
Not.
China is the second largest?
China
it's
is
the largest by far.
No,
if you go over to China, you see all this activity and people building and everyone working and everyone moving around. Here in the United States, you see people doing nothing.
Well, but that's nobody's problem but those people that are doing nothing.
No, it's a problem for our country because when you have people on welfare, instead of them working a productive job, producing something, you lose twice. You lose first the money that you pay them, and then you lose second the money you lose that they could be working and producing taxes and producing a dynamic economy.
Yeah, but what he's saying that is the
China is near financial crisis.
That's what
of course, everyone is.
China facing full-blown banking crisis.
But that's that's probably what they are trying to tell us.
Trust me, I worked in the banking industry. They don't tell their people because it's a communist country. They are facing bankruptcy. They have already borrowed.
Who do they owe the money
to? They have already borrowed billions of dollars from the World Bank. And you know who controls the World Bank? We can look it up.
The World Bank doesn't even do any.
You know who controls the World Bank? The United States of America.
That's right. And the World Bank does not do projects in China. In fact, China
is facing
China has their own World Bank, and they do projects all over.
They're trying to get it together with Russia, but they're not. That's not going to work. They're not going to create a bank with Russia. That's ridiculous. That was pressure because the United States has them against the wall. That's why they're doing that, because they're in debt and they don't want their money based on the dollar anymore because they owe us money. That's
don't
why.
Owe us a penny.
Trust me.
Watch what happens. Look it up.
Watch what happens.
Look it up on the internet and find out the U.S. debt to China. I mean, the Chinese debt to the United States. It's ridiculous. You don't know what you're talking about.
The United States does not. Trust me, China is in debt to the United States.
It is not.
And their banking system is about to crash.
That could be true. It could not be true. Who knows?
It is. It is.
I'd rather have my money in China.
And the worst thing they did was they tried to make all of that up by buying gold. That was the worst thing they did.
That was the smartest thing.
Because the United States controls the price of gold. So what do you think we're going to do? We're going to artificially keep the price of gold down.
Believe me.
So that makes it worthless.
No government
it makes it
control
worthless.
The price of gold.
The United States controls the
There's
IMF.
a limited supply
They
of gold.
control the IMF.
Okay.
They control the world banking system. The United States controls the world banking system.
It does today, but it won't tomorrow. That's why
today.
China is developing another currency. China and Russia and these other countries are joining together because they're sick and tired of the way the arrogant United States...
Russia doesn't trust China. They don't trust
No one trusts anyone.
They don't trust
No. Nobody trusts
Russia-
anybody. I agree with that.
People would still rather do business with you. That's why Putin was so happy, because he wants those tariffs lifted that Obama put on Russia. People would rather do business with the United States than China or any other country, because we are still the richest country on earth.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
you would still rather
No,
do
but
business.
we're not the richest country. No,
Who
but
is?
the people.
Who is the richest country on earth?
I don't know.
You're the richest country on earth when you control when every other currency in the world is based on the dollar bill. That makes you.
So let me ask
that
you,
means
wait a
you
minute.
control.
Wait a minute. So how is they telling us that we are 18 trillions in debt?
Absolutely.
To who?
Absolutely.
To who?
Absolutely. We're $18 trillion in
To who?
Because what we're doing.
To who?
I'm going to tell you that. We're not in debt. First of all, the United States could just print $18 trillion today.
Oh.
We could just print it.
You have no idea.
Could we? Could we?
Of course.
Absolutely. So we're not in debt to anybody.
What would happen? What would happen if
not in debt to anybody.
What would happen if they created $18 trillion?
Absolutely nothing, because we already have.
It would devalue the dollar
Absolutely
so much.
nothing, because we already have. That's how we're 18 trillion in debt, because we already created 18 trillion.
No, we created 5 trillion.
Absolutely,
easing
absolutely nothing would happen to us, because we control the monetary system.
We think we control it,
Absolutely
but these
not.
other countries are trying to control it.
But they never will.
They will definitely control it. Because
remember, Japan was the great threat in the 80s. What happened to Japan?
Oh, my God.
When they went up against the United States. 20 years of recession now?
Let's
20
discuss,
straight years?
Let's discuss the value of the dollar. Okay? The dollar was declared the international, before it was the pound.
Right.
Okay? And in 1944, 1945, people met in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, and created the Bretton Woods Agreement, where the countries that were involved in World War II on our side all voted that the dollar should be the international currency.
Right.
Okay, so that was a governmental decision. Now, the agreement was that the dollar would be the currency. The United States prints dollars. It's the only country that can do that. And if any country doubted the dollar or didn't believe that it had value, the United States had to give gold at $32 per ounce. And so then the Vietnam War happened. Johnson came in. He conducted the war on poverty. And Nixon, and so France and Germany demanded gold instead of the dollar, because they knew the dollar was becoming worthless. So what happened? On August 15th, 1971, Nixon said, we're off the gold standard. We're not going to give you gold. We're going to violate our half of the agreement. And so now...
Why did we do that? Why did we do that? Why did we do that?
Let me hear.
Because we didn't want to pay them. It's a way of getting out of
So
it.
we don't owe anybody. That's my point. That's my point. Uh-oh. We got callers there.
You on the air?
Please hold while I connect you to the next available agent.
The agent's on the air.
Go ahead, finish
okay,
it.
so when the United States did this was a gross violation of our treaty with the rest of the world, and so it meant that from then on, the United States could create fiat money. It could just, all our money since August 15th, 1971, all our money, all our currency is based on paper.
It's worthless.
No, it's not backed up by anything. It's worthless.
It's worthless.
So what's happening? Ever since then, this is now what, 45 years since this happened, in 45 years, the dollar has lost 90% of its value, and because that's what happens with fiat currencies. And the rest of the world is saying, why are we giving the United States, exchanging, in the case of China, why are we giving them 6 of our yuan for 1 of their dollars when our yuan is really worth 3 per dollar? Why are we doing this? And the rest of the world is getting screwed. This is a way the rest of the world screws the United States screws the rest of the world. That's right.
We still are.
Until the world creates another currency, we're being enabled to screw the rest of the world.
So what we did, you're absolutely 100% right. I totally agree with you, except one problem, and this is my point. So what China did in Russia, behind the United States back in the last 10 years, is they've been working on that new world bank and that new currency. The problem is that that currency was going to be based on gold. So what the United States did is they started offering up gold certificates in the United States, and everybody started buying them up, right? You know who else started buying them up? China and Russia. So once again, they are still in bed with the United States.
They're not buying gold certificates. They're buying real gold.
They do. They do have huge gold supplies, but they're also buying gold certificates, which we all know is not gold.
They're not buying gold certificates.
Yes, they are. Yes,
they are not.
And
what are they buying? What are they buying? Gold?
They're buying actual gold, but trust me, they're also buying gold certificates, and we are artificially controlling the gold and silver market. So basically, that makes their gold worthless.
No, it doesn't, because there is no way that if a bank let's say Deutsche Bank collapses, and it causes a wave that overthrows all the other banks. Where are people going to run to? Are they going to run to dollars? Are they going to run to paper dollars? Or are they going to run to gold? They're going to run to gold, and the price of gold is going to go from $1,200 to $1,500 to $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000. And who has all the gold? China has all the gold. Their gold would be worth, if they bought gold, let's say for $2 trillion, their gold is going to be worth $10 trillion. It's going to be worth 5 times as much as soon as the price of gold increases by 5. It's a very good investment by China.
The United States is already working themselves on a new financial currency also with a lot of other countries. And
they're not working with other countries. They're working.
So let me ask you.
They're working against other countries.
Let me ask you something.
It's a giant ripoff.
Hold on. Let me ask you something. If United States is working on it, will be any kind of jeopardizing the deal now with the new president coming in, or it will benefit?
Okay, say that again.
If the United States is working out a deal, right?
A deal
with China, you said? You just said they're working on what? What are they working on it?
I was saying that they're working on a new currency.
And a new currency. Okay. So will that happen? The new president will jeopardize that deal?
I myself personally, but I believe that that's what he's going to meet with Obama about. And I think that the smooth transition of power, they usually let the new president coming in know what agreements and what trade agreements are in the balance, and they let them know what's going on. So when Trump meets with Obama tomorrow, Obama will let him know about the things that they have in the works already. Trump is not crazy. Trump will go along with most of the things that they've already set in place. So he won't rock the boat too much, but there are a few programs that he has of his own, and now that he has power of the Senate in the House, he will push forward probably repealing Obamacare and certain things like that. But there are certain worldwide things that every president goes along with that he won't. It's just like when Obama came in with Bush. He changed.
You guys didn't find kind of a strange the meeting being so fast?
Oh, absolutely. It's all fixed.
Don't you find that to be?
It's all fixed. Huh? It's all fixed.
But why so soon? Why did, he just became president today.
Because he has to let him know what's going on. There are very important things that are going on, and he has to have a couple of months to prepare and adjust when he takes office in January. So he can't wait till January.
But he's taking off in January 20.
Right, but you have to meet with a lot of people behind closed doors. You have to meet with a lot of big businessmen. You have to start.
But you don't find it strange?
No, absolutely not.
Then the next day, I never seen a president meeting the new president the next day.
Because there are a lot of serious things going on. There are a lot of serious things going on around the world, of which me and Ed are talking about, and he has to be privy to what's going on.
But there's always the same problem. There's always a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Why so soon? 24 hours after he became president?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of.
To me, I found that a little strange. Don't you?
What they put on TV, what they put on.
Doesn't matter to me.
What they put on.
I know it doesn't matter to you, but do you find it strange?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Why? Why not meet?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
No problem. There's no problem. But I never seen a 24-hour period.
You have 72 days until you're inaugurated. Why not get to work?
Yeah.
The person who knows most about what you need to know about is down in Washington, D.C.
Right.
So why not go talk to him? What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Nothing is wrong, but I never seen that.
Okay,
happen.
fine. Don't see it. No, and I'm saying it. Who cares?
I care.
Oh, okay. Well, call here. Let's dial the White House.
No.
Tell them that you're very.
No. I don't need to call the White House. I called Donnie. I called Donnie at the tower.
Okay.
At the hotel.
Yeah.
My friend Donnie.
Well, so find out.
Yeah.
Listen, one of the main reasons why is what we're shown on TV is a lot of crap.
Of course it's
What honestly is going on is that Putin talks with Obama all the time. Obama is going to talk with Trump. Trump's going to talk with Putin on the phone when he's there. He's going to talk to the Chinese leader. He's going to talk to a lot of people. This isn't just a blank meeting. It's to introduce Trump and say, hey, we're going to do business as usual. What you said to the American people is a lot of bull crap. Excuse my French. But when you get in office, you're not going to do any of that. You're not going to do any of that. The tariffs and all the stuff you're talking about, he's not going to do that. He's going to do a very small percentage of what he actually said that he.
So he's not going to he's not going to build the wall?
Absolutely not. He's not going to.
No?
No.
No, Mexicans aren't going to build it.
No, he's not going to build any wall. No, it's ridiculous.
I know that's a shock to you, probably.
It is a shock to me because I didn't believe he was going to lie to us.
He didn't lie.
Well,
he didn't lie. Actually, when
you want me to come over and hold your hand?
No.
When you become president, you actually have very little power.
I know that.
I mean, what he wants to get done, you can influence certain things. Like, in other words, there won't be an actual wall, but can he put more border agents on the border? Absolutely. Can he make it more difficult for people to come into the country? Absolutely. Can he build a physical wall, which would cost billions of dollars? Absolutely not. And have the Mexicans pay for it? That's ridiculous. It gets the crowds fired up.
The Mexicans get paid for by charging more for all the money that they sent to their family in Mexico. They can charge more for people to come over here and shopping. They have to pay taxes. They have to pay triple the taxes. You don't have to. All they gotta do is follow the laws that is already in existence. That's all.
Ed, you do it. I love a heated argument like this. Ed, you're very smart. You make a lot of good points. Do you do any business, or have you done any business with China before?
All the time.
Is it tough for Americans? Are there a lot of regulations and red tape that you have to go through to do business? I've never have, so I would have no idea. But
I think it's much easier to set up a business over there.
Of course.
Here.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well,
people get to keep their money there. Here, you have to pay all these taxes and go through all these regulations.
No, he's right. He's right on that.
When we had a spa in Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we wanted to serve alcohol at the spa. Okay, if we had a spa here in Vegas, and we wanted to serve alcohol at it. First of all, it wouldn't be permitted by the laws. Okay. But second, if it were permitted, you'd have to go down, you'd have to have a hearing at the county commission, you'd have to bribe the commissioners, you'd have to go to the liquor board, you'd have to go through all these things, and there'd be all these regulations. And
what county commissioner do you bribe? We on the air now.
So the government, they don't interfere as much.
Okay, so when since Rolando wants me to talk to you, no, we're not. Anyway, so when we wanted to serve alcohol at our spa, what we did was we sent someone down to the store and they paid for the alcohol, and then they brought it back and we started serving it. It took about 2 hours.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah. There aren't any of those regulations of all this stuff.
But look at all the red tape that you guys have to go to put one U-Haul truck.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. But this is only in Las Vegas. This is only now.
Right.
In the old days, I told you I have U-Haul. I never pay any license for the U-Haul. The U-Haul pay the license. They pay their own license.
Right.
But the Las Vegas is getting to be too greedy. You know, Las Vegas is the only place that has parking meters. You don't find parking meters in the county. You don't have to pay a state license when you open a business in the county.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. I was on 1555 East Flamingo Road. I have the mailboxes than he had now. I had it over there. I went there. I get the license for the mailboxes. They send me the license in the mail. I paid $120 or whatever it was, $60 for the 6 months and $60 for research or whatever they call that BS. You know, that's it. Nothing else.
But were they in your name or were they in
My name.
Oh, well, if you do it under your name, there's no problem.
So what name is it going to be?
If you use a name, if you use a fictitious name, you have to go to the state and you have to get a license. It has to be an LLC or a corporation, unless you do something like Rolando LaRosse DBA, blah, blah, blah. Then if you do that, you go to the county and you get a license, and that's it.
But it's always been like that. Rolando LaRosse doing business as Las Vegas Tribune.
There still is.
Yeah, but
you don't have to go to the state.
I didn't have to go to the state.
That's right.
But when you do it in the city, you do have to go to the state.
Oh,
the city will not even don't even give you a blank application to fill it up if you don't have the license for the state. Really? And when I have Mayor Goodman,
even though you do it under your name.
And when I have Mayor Goodman in here, she told me, well, that's the privilege of doing business in Las Vegas. You know, no, it's not a privilege. It's a ripoff. Yeah. That was your friend Ross Miller. He's the one that created it when he was the Secretary of State.
No, but you're saying that it doesn't apply to the county. Ross Miller was at the state.
Yeah.
If it doesn't apply to the county, it doesn't apply to the state.
He probably tried to do it with the county, and the county told him to go to hell.
Believe me, they can't. That isn't the way the state works. The state has a rule, and everyone in the state has to follow the rule.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe the city has different regulations.
Yeah.
You're talking about a city won't let you.
No.
The county will let you. So it isn't Ross Miller.
The city will not give you the application to fill it out.
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't have.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
The city won't give you the application. The county will give you the application. Okay. And it's a city regulation, not a state regulation.
In the old days, only privileged license need to go to the state.
Yeah, right.
Bail bondsman, liquor, private investigator, real estate, bail bondsmen. All those people, they have to go through the state. And that's another ripoff.
That's right.
That's another ripoff because, like for example, Anthony's bail bonds. Okay, you have to have a license for Las Vegas, for Clark County, for North Las Vegas, for Henderson, for Boulder City. If you're going to bail one person in Boulder City, you have to have a business license in Boulder City.
That's right.
And that should not be that way.
Well, it's, as I say, everyone is greedy, and there's no greedier people than the people in the government.
No, definitely. Definitely. That's why they pay him, a county manager, $325,000. You know, $325. How much can that person know to earn? It's like, you know I'm jumping from one thing to another. You know,
and it's irritating.
It is irritating. I love to irritate you. You know, it's like paying Bill Clinton $1 million for a 25-minute speech. What can he tell me in 20 minutes that is worth $1 million?
Nothing, but he might be able to do a favor for you to get
what
your
kind of
company
favor?
a contract.
He's not my type.
He might be able to get your company a contract.
I think an agreement.
So if you talk to him nice, maybe you can say, well, how about if I handle the PR? The Tribune handles the PR for the United States of America, and I only charge like Billy Faciliadis. I'll only charge $80 million instead of $90 million that Billy Faciliadis is going to charge you a year. You can do that.
Yeah, that's what they're doing with the convention authorities.
Yeah, that's right.
Same guy using the same contract for the last 10 years now?
No, a lot longer than that. He just got it extended to him.
Yeah, he just got it extended for 10 years?
Yeah, until 2026 or something, no, 2030 or something like that.
Well, that is that's more than 10 years.
No, he already had it. It didn't expire. They do these things years before they expire. Yeah. Don't let anyone else know. Don't have any competitive bidding.
Right.
And in a simple majority vote of the LVCVA, which no one's going to vote against the director, they decide, oh yeah, okay, let's give out this $1 billion contract.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is. And nobody's saying nothing. Nobody.
I did. I've talked about it several times.
I know you do, but that's not the point. We need people like the daily paper, we need people.
The daily paper is not going to criticize R&R advertising.
Why not? Why not? He is a competition.
Well, hopefully.
He got the Science Convention Center.
We wish.
I know. He
But
is.
now they're all together. Just wait and see what happens now that they have this cartel formed with the permission of the
He is coming out of that cartel. He is going to withdraw from the cartel.
How can he withdraw?
He's not going to put the money.
Oh, you mean he's not going to put the money? The stadium is not the cartel. The cartel is the
one that ruled the stadium.
Jim Murin, Steve Wynn, and Sheldon Adelson.
Right.
Okay.
But
they own 90% of the income of the strip. And they got the government to make sure that
technically they own 100%. Oh no, because you got the Palm and you got and you got Michael Gunn with the South Point. They not
Hooters.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
But what's going to happen? They're going to pick off these people. They're going to create all sorts of problems for them. They're not going to let any other hotels get built. They're going to raise their rates. They've already raised their rates 6.7% in the last 12 months. To direct all the tourist dollars into them.
And you know what is ironic? People are still coming to Las Vegas.
Of course they're going to come here. That's what they want. What they don't want is they don't want a New Year's Eve every weekend. So they're going to raise the prices so high to discourage all those people from coming. This is going to reduce the number of people that come here. But everyone in the world wants to come to Las Vegas. There are 100 million Chinese that want to come to Las Vegas. and can afford to come to Las Vegas.
Yeah, they can.
But they just can't get visas. Okay, so they're going to control, so only the people that will pay high prices will come to Las Vegas. They stated, Hornbuckle stated this right in the hearings of the Southern Nevada Tourism Infrastructure Committee. He said, we have too many rooms. And Roland Cotter said, oh, but we wiped out 2,900 rooms. We did you a favor.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
when they took the Riviera out.
when they took the Riviera, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he said, oh, thanks, yeah, right. You know, he didn't say that, but that was the implication. And the worst implication is, no one had better build any competitive hotels here, because we're going to screw you over and not permit you to build it, or we're going to take over your facility. Now, that all has with the permission of the
How long do you think that will last?
Who knows? Until another place in the world is able to take care of so many tourists, and that's very hard to do.
Another place in the world, or another place in the United States?
Or in the United States,
Because Atlantic City is right there. You know, they can start building Atlantic City the way Las Vegas was built.
Yeah, but
you know,
if you want to deal with the New Jersey mafia, government mafia,
that's fine.
It's worse than the county commission.
No, it's not.
Oh,
you're dealing with the mafia. You're dealing with people
No,
that
I'm
are
talking about the political mafia.
Huh?
Everything is political now. There isn't any more real mafia that controls. Everything is controlled by the government.
And you don't think if you go over there and you tell Chris Christie, look, we can take Las Vegas business, bring it over here, and you don't have to have these empty hotels. Because they are empty. They close to more hotels.
Yes, they are. Atlantic City's doing bad.
You know,
Yeah.
They are.
bring it the $80 a night room, and bring the maybe not the 49-cent breakfast, but the $2 breakfast, and because there's no more 49-cent breakfast, because the eggs cost, the one egg costs 80 cents, so you know, but you don't try to make a profit with everything. You have to make like they used to be doing. What?
Say that again?
You don't have to make a profit with everything.
Absolutely.
No, you don't. And what happened is very simple. You give them a free breakfast, you compliment, and you know that they're going to drop by the crab table and they're going to leave $100 in there. And they're going to have another lunch and they're going to leave $500 in the 21 table. And that's how Las Vegas was built.
That's how it was built, but that's not how the future is. The future is, together with the government, they're going to prevent new hotels from being built. They're going to buy off.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
They're going to start lowering wages.
Let me tell you.
Give worse services.
Let me tell you my experience when you do business with the government. You always lose your virginity. That's what it is. Okay? I went to do business with Costa Rica government you remember, do you know what a beeper is?
Yeah.
I was going to have the beeper, the exclusive beepers in Costa Rica. After they learn everything about the beeper business, they say, goodbye, Rolando.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time you do business with the government, you lose your virginity.
Yeah.
And that's because we're on the air, and I cannot tell you exactly what happened to you when you do business with any government in any place. The only government, 5 minutes? Okay. We got 5 minutes. We can finish if you wanted to now, because we need to do the introduction in the beginning that we didn't do it. We didn't do it that way. Ed Yulin, thank you very much for being here. I'm sorry that you
inviting me.
I'm sorry you lost your
Virginity.
No, the virginity. But wait a minute, where are you going? I thought we were going to lunch.